There's a green test so hard that, across the entire NFL, 30 stadiums, only 6 have passed it, and one of them is a nearly 40-year-old machine about to host the 2026 World Cup. But this test doesn't look at the blueprint. It doesn't ask how the building is made. It wants something much harder: proof that the stadium runs green today, at every event, year after year. And that's what earned Hard Rock lead gold in 2024. The question holding this video together is simple. How does a stadium that opened in 1987 survive a test that fails almost every building on Earth? Stay with me. We're going to open the answer key, question by question. This is Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. It opened in 1987, home of the NFL's Miami Dolphins. Today it hosts everything: football, the Miami Open tennis, even the Miami Formula One Grand Prix. And at the 2026 World Cup, it becomes Miami Stadium. 7 matches, including the third-place game, the second-to-last match of the entire tournament. But before we open the test, look at the one answer you can actually see from a distance. No microscope required. In 2016, in a renovation of about $500 million, all privately funded, the stadium got this canopy. It's not a roof that closes. It's an open cover, suspended in the air, leaving the Miami sky open over the pitch. And it does something that, in Florida heat, is worth gold. It keeps 92% of the seats shaded and protected from rain. That's basic, powerful building science. Thermal comfort without spending energy. 65,000 seats, almost all in the shade, in one of the hottest, most humid places in the country. Hold that energy, because it's the easy part. Because the canopy is the thing anyone can point at and call green. The real test doesn't care what looks good. It starts exactly where the photo ends. So quick, if you like seeing how these giant builds get tested from the inside, subscribe. A new building every week. Now the test. Think about it. A stadium from 1987, 65,000 people on game day, cooling, thousands of lights, kitchens, giant screens. How does a machine like that, nearly 40 years old, earn a cutting-edge green certification in 2024? The answer is in the kind of test. Hard Rock didn't take the new construction exam, the one you take once when the building is born, and never again. It took LEDEO&M for operations, and that's a different beast. The construction exam looks at the blueprint, the design, the materials, the build. O&M ignores all of that. It measures the building running, real energy use, the air you breathe in the stands, how the crowd gets there, how much trash goes out. You can't ace it on paper and coast. You have to prove performance event after event, and the certification can be tested again. That's why it's so rare. Most buildings can pass a one-time exam. Almost none can survive being tested all the time. Hard Rock scored 67 points, gold. And when you open the answer key, you can see exactly where it earned that grade. First question, the one worth the most points, energy. The field lights went LED. That alone cuts those lights' consumption by up to 75%. It's the kind of answer O&M loves. Nobody in the stands notices, but the energy bill drops. Question answered. Second question, indoor air quality. And here the stadium scores one of its highest marks. Ventilation, green cleaning, pest control without harsh poison. Third, transport. Near full marks on how tens of thousands of people get to the stadium. Energy, air, and transport. 3 questions you never see, but the test grades without mercy. And now the question I promised at the start. The hardest one on the test. The one that happens after the crowd leaves. Backstage, a game day's trash doesn't all go to landfill. Food waste goes into biodigesters that turn leftovers into energy. The kitchen oil is collected and becomes biofuel. And here's a number that stops you. The stadium eliminated 99.4% of single-use plastic from its food and beverage operations. Almost all of it. This is the question that fails almost every building, and Hard Rock answered it to 4 decimal places. Put the answers together: energy, indoor air, transport, waste, and the verdict lands. Hard Rock joined a small club, one of only 6 NFL stadiums certified gold or higher for the way it's operated. Not for the build, for the routine. A 1987 stadium that, against everything you'd expect, passed. And to be fair, the test has its limits too. A 65,000-seat stadium will never be a model of using room. On game day, it's a city. But that's not what O&M measures. It measures what you can do with what already exists. Take a nearly 40-year-old structure and run it in a way that cuts energy, cleans the air, and takes almost all the plastic and trash out of the equation. Passing this test at that age might be the most useful lesson of all, because most of the world's buildings are already built, and it's too late to redraw the blueprint. But it's never too late to change the routine. So next time you watch the World Cup third-place game, with the Miami canopy glowing at night, remember, that stadium isn't green because someone designed it that way in 1987. It's green because it passes a brutally hard test every time it opens its gates, and it keeps passing. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which 2026 World Cup stadium should I put to the test next, LA or the West Coast in Seattle? See you in the next one.